Chapter 44 Bobby Smith. Bouncer's plan was quite simple at the outset. They would jump, hopefully arriving on Earth number 1 somewhere near Sepulchre's headquarters, just like the last time. This should be easy as so far they had not changed the LLET in the last 3 jumps. They would then try to infiltrate Sepulchre headquarters in a similar manner to how they had broken into Kiruna on Earth number 371. Graham was not overjoyed about pushing their luck for a second time. "Are you sure, Bouncer? We won't know anything about that world when we arrive. They might talk differently, we might stick out and everything." "Graham, calm down," urged Bouncer. "I've taken something like that into account. We are going to sit tight for a day or so, get the lie of the land. That's why I said about the snacks," smiled Bouncer. Graham smiled and calmed down as he realized Bouncer had, as usual, thought of most things. "So once we know what's going on that Earth we go spying?" "Defo, Graham. Like I said, then we spy, sneak and snoop." With their bags and farvier packed, Bouncer switched the hidden farvier on and dragged their farvier through with them as they stepped through the portal. Looking around, Graham quickly spotted the Earth number 1 graffiti tag. "We're here, Bouncer, spot on." "Right then, let's find a hidey hole and lay low," smiled Bouncer. Seeing a nearby abandoned warehouse, not unlike the one they had just jumped from, Bouncer thought it looked perfect. A good view of front and back entrances of Sepulchre HQ, and was run down enough for no one to pay it any attention. An hour later they were bedded in. Graham set an alarm for 6 o'clock. They needed to make sure they were up and ready to start recording the comings and goings of Sepulchre staff. They needed to spot a mark that would gain them entrance to Sepulchre HQ and the information they needed. Bouncer woke and looked out a broken window with an unbroken vista of an open space through which people could get to and from Sepulchre HQ. As he watched, he smiled to himself. This Earth looked like it was at least as normal as their Earth. No one was walking backwards or floating upside down. It was just a steady crawl of normal-looking people doing normal-looking things on their way to what were inevitably normal-looking jobs. "It all looks a bit boring, Bouncer," commented Graham after another couple of hours of person counting. "Yes, it does, doesn't it?" replied Bouncer. "They can't possibly know we're here, so this must be normal. And if this is the case, we are away. We should be able to get in and snoop around. We just need some security passes." Bobby Smith was a very normal person with what he thought was a very normal job, a janitor at Sepulchre HQ, in what he thought to be a very normal world, a world that, as far as he was concerned, and was as Carl Sagan had described, a pale blue spot bathed in a sunbeam. In fact, Bobby was as blissfully unaware of the multiverse as Bouncer and Graham were about the small group chasing them. And it would probably have stayed that way if Bobby hadn't decided to spice things up that morning by taking a different route to work. Bobby had trod the exact same route to work every weekday for the last 5 years, since he had started working at Sepulchre HQ. This morning, though, something had crept into Bobby's head, the germ of an idea that had led Bobby on, quite literally, a different path, a path that took him right past Bouncer and Graham. To Bouncer and Graham, Bobby's slow and steady progress, either racing to something nor away from, made him stand out like a sore thumb, and would change his life forever.